What's up, Facebook? Shout out to Periscope. Those of you that are coming in, we're going to talk about this live webinar that I got going on this Thursday, June 15th. How to attract the right man in your life. Listen, I've been dealing with a lot of coaching clients, dealing with a lot of women. And when we talk about manifesting our lives, when we've been talking about how to create your own reality and really how to bring some things into perspective, the biggest thing that I've been getting is trying to find the right companion, trying to find a man who they feel they can attract into their lives, somebody who can be the man, the person that they need in their significant other, their love mate, their soulmate. And so I begin to really look into this and see that this was an issue, a problem that many women are finding themselves having or finding themselves dealing with of trying to attract. Bring the right person into their lives, to attract the right mate, the right business partner, the right relationships. And so this is something that I said, listen, I believe that this is an opportunity. This is a chance for us to move into a better position. And so what I wanted to do was put together a webinar where we can sit down and discuss some of the issues that women are having in regards to attracting the right man into their lives. And so this Thursday, at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm doing a live webinar. Listen, those of you that are watching right now on Facebook, you can actually click on the link in the description box and you can actually sign up for the webinar. Those of you that are watching on Periscope, you can go to the link in the bio, isakarbay.com, and at the top of the website, there is a link for you to sign up for the webinar. Listen, sign up for this webinar. Also, what I want you guys to do when you sign up for the webinar is to give me the questions that you want answered. Give me the issues, the problems, the things that you want, that you would like to have discussed, the issues, the topics, the things that you are having issues with. I want to be able to address these issues and address these situations that you guys are dealing with on this live webinar. This is going to be something sensational. When we talk about attracting anything, we all realize that we have the power to attract any and everything that we want in life. There is nothing that we cannot attract. There's nothing that we cannot bring into our lives. The only person that can stop us from having, being, and doing what it is that we want in life is us. We're the only ones that can stop that. And so listen, I want to get together on Thursday and I want to present to you guys as we sit down and change the perspective, kind of change the way we see things, because I believe that we can attract and bring into fruition any and everything that we want. Now, I named the webinar, How to Attract the Right Man in Your Life, right? Now, understand that the word right is the key word here, because what's right for one woman may not be right for another woman. So the thing about it is everybody has different needs. Everybody has different things that they want. We want to get really deep into attracting the so-called man that we want in our lives, right? Who more qualified to talk about how to attract a man than a man himself? And so I want to sit down with you and I want to discuss. We want to have a question answer discussion in the webinar. I want you guys, if you can, once you register for the webinar, I will give you access into how you can inbox me and reach me, to inbox me questions on how you can submit your questions that you want answered during this webinar. I want to attract a good man. I want to attract a man that pays me attention. I want to attract a man that shows me love. I want to attract a man that's strong and brings security, brings financial stability. All these things that women want to attract. We can attract those things, but there's some things that I want to discuss. There's some things that we want to put down on the table on the foundational level before we even start to attract. Let's first understand that before I can attract anything, before I can manifest and bring anything into my life, everything starts from within. And so I want to begin to go within and really deal with some things that you women are dealing with. Because, for instance, you cannot attract what you are not. Life does not give you what you want. Life gives you what you become. I can't say that I want a man of honesty and a man of integrity if I myself is not honest or have integrity. I can't ask for things that I myself do not possess. And so we want to get into these things on this webinar. Shout out to my man, Pierre Evans. Great brother. He's doing his thing on the tour, doing the speaking tour. Had a great, I watched him this morning. He had a great Facebook Live talking about overcoming fear. Great brother. Those of you who are watching, please follow my brother, man. Please follow my brother. Great brother doing great things. He's going to speaking tour. He's got the new book coming out. I'm watching you, brother. He's doing big things, man. I'm coming behind you. When I grow up, I want to be just like you, man, Brother Evans. So listen. When you begin to understand about the attraction in life, when you begin to understand about how do I attract the right man that I want in my life, it all starts with you. Because you have to begin to look at yourself and see, where am I positioning now? Where am I at? Because listen, a lot of times we get caught in the fairy tales of life. We watch TV, we watch movies, and so we see things on TV and in movies that we feel that's the kind of man that I want, and this is the kind of man that I want. But let us begin to understand that sometimes when you begin to start attracting some things that you want in life, it may not come in the packaging that you think it should come into. It may not look the way that you think it should look. It may not be designed, or it may not have the glamorous outside approach packaging that you think it ought to have. So when we get into this webinar, we're going to talk about some things about attracting things into your life, attracting the right man, attracting the right soulmate, attracting the right relationships that you feel. Listen, men and women speak two different languages. We're going to get into the language barrier. We're going to get into the understanding of a man and a woman, that a woman is a receiver and a man is a giver, right? Men move by what they see, women move by what they hear. And so we're going to really get into some deep conversations and some deep, intricate concepts and precepts about the whole relationship of a man and a woman. How can a woman actually attract a man into her life? Because to be honest with you, to attract a man, a lot of us are doing it the wrong way. We're doing it on the outside. We're wearing nice clothing. We're wearing revealing clothing. We feel like if we dress a certain kind of way, we could attract a certain kind of man. And we feel like if we look a certain kind of way, we can attract a certain kind of man. And if we have big breasts and a big behind, that we would attract a man. And some of you that have those things realize that you may have attracted the man, but you wasn't able to keep the man. And so it's not just all about attracting the right kind of man, but how can I connect with this man and keep a man connected to me? How can the two of us become one? And so it comes into an understanding of being able to understand that the attraction of this, the common connection of this brings you into a different perspective. Listen, I'm going to teach you a lot of things on this webinar. I have some great programs, some great opportunities that's going to be happening in this webinar. I need all of you to be a part of this. Listen, if you are a woman or you know a woman that's looking for a man, that's having relationship issues, that's trying to attract the right man in her life, and she's just miserable, she's upset, she's brokenhearted, listen, I need you to forward or share this webinar, share this Facebook Live with her. Listen, also, if you're in a relationship and you know that this relationship is not going anywhere, you know that this is the person that's really not doing it for you, if you know that this is not going anywhere, I'm not getting out of this relationship, why are you still in this relationship? Why don't you separate yourself from this relationship and begin tonight, start over fresh and new? Listen, I want you to meet me at this webinar on Thursday. We're going to get into some intricate details that I want to talk about regarding women and how we are relating to man, how we are moving and operating and beginning to move into a level of consciousness, right? To where we begin to move and operate how we're supposed to operate, how we're able to attract the things that we want in life. How can I attract the right man? Your question tonight, your question today, as we begin to enter into this week leading into Thursday, is what is the right man for you? Define that. If you get a piece of paper right now, write down what is the right man for you. If you're going to attract the right man in your life, define what right is. What is that meaning of right? Because what's right for this person is not right for that person. So there is no definite just right that everybody attracts, because everybody wants something different. Everybody has different needs. Everybody has different perspectives in life, right? So we begin to understand and begin to look at that understanding of it. It dwells on so many different levels of compatibility of what exactly are you looking for. Now, I believe that a man and a woman should always be together. I don't believe that we were born to be lonely. I don't believe that you should be lonely and by yourself. And so there are a lot of women who say to themselves, listen, I wanted to attract a man, but I have high standards. And I think because I have high standards that men don't really connect with me because my standards are too high. I don't necessarily believe that to be true, because even though you have the high standards, My question to you is, what are you doing to attract the person that you want to have, that has those standards that you want met? What are you doing? Don't just set the standards and just be like, okay, I have high standards, and you're just waiting. No, because you have the ability to attract the person into your life that can meet those standards that you have. You could attract the ideal mate. You could attract the right person. It's not just about setting the standards. I have no problem with you setting standards. But also, after you set those standards, what are you doing to attract that person into your life? And so when we begin to get into a level of understanding, we begin to get into some precepts and concepts. As I begin to put some truths into perspective, listen, we're going to be getting into some heavy details. We're going to talk about relationships. We're going to talk about men and women. We're going to talk about love language. We're going to talk about the compatibility. We're going to talk about the sex thing. We're going to talk about everything in this webinar. Listen, I need you to meet me there, June 15, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I need you, those of you that are watching, listen, the link to register for the webinar is in the description box. Those of you that are watching on Periscope, you can actually go into my website. The link is in the bio, isaacarbay.com. Click on the link, and what you guys can do is at the top of my website, there's a link to register for the webinar. You guys can register for the webinar. I want to see you in the place. Also, any women I've been getting in contact with a lot of women, and a lot of women have been forwarding into this webinar, have been sharing it with their women's groups, have been sharing it with their feminine groups. And so listen, I need you guys to be in the building. I also want those of you that are listening, because I want to know what some of the issues that you guys are having. I want to know what some of the things that you feel that you're having as far as issues of attracting the right kind of man. You know, especially if you're bitter, if you feel like all men are dogs, if you feel like all men cheat, all men lie. I don't necessarily believe that, but let's talk about it. Let's have a sit down, straight up discussion about it. I like to hear your point of view. I like to hear what issues you have. I like to hear what things that we can sit down and discuss, because what I want to present to you is a different perspective on how you're looking at this situation. I want to present to you a way and give you some key precepts and concepts, right? Some truths that you can use to attract the right man in your life, to attract. Now, when we begin to look at this, we're in the halfway mark of the year of 2017. There's still a lot of 2017 left. There's still a lot left. Listen, I would love to get with you and begin to work with you on being able to manifest and bring all the things that you want to create into your life. The most frustrating thing in life is that you're trying to create and manifest and bring things into your life, and you're frustrated because you're doing it the wrong way. It's not that you're not doing it. It's not that you're not taking the initiative. It's not that you're not going out here and really putting 100% effort in it. But I don't want to see you do it the wrong way. I don't want you to do it and be putting 100% into it and be frustrated because nothing is not happening because you're doing it the wrong way. And so listen, June 15th, we want to get down. We want to have a discussion. I want to show you, listen, after this thing, this is not about beating men down. This is not about showing that, listen, I'm a man. I'm here to defend the brothers. I'm here to show you a different perspective on what you might think about men. But I guarantee you this, as a result, your perception will change after this webinar. Your perception will change. You will have a new insight on how you look at men, a new insight on how you feel about men, a new insight and respect on how you will now begin to delineate and begin to approach the whole situation of attracting the right kind of man in your life, or even approaching a relationship. Some of us have been hurt. Some of us have been broken by men. So we have this big wall up in front of us. And so when the time of relationship comes, or when men approach us, we automatically shun away and begin to push away because we've been so broken inside that we don't want to even encounter another relationship. Take it and use it as a stepping stone. The pain, the hurt, whatever heartache that you've went through dealing with men in the past, we can use those as stepping stones. But don't hinder yourself from actually getting the opportunity to have what you want to have in life because of something that happened in the past. Don't let your past destroy your future. You know, so let's get into a position now where we can actually move in a greater positioning now where I can attract the right person that I want to attract in my life. I can have the right man. I can have the right relationship that I want in my life. And so if that's you, I want to see you at this webinar. I want you to meet me at this webinar on June 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, you can register at isthecarbay.com. Those of you that are watching Facebook Live, it's in the description. You can actually watch it. Click on the link and register for the webinar. Listen, life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. And when I show you how you can create the kind of life that you want to live, the relationships that you want to happen and that you want to embrace in life, it's all about changing your perception in life, about how we see things. Life is about perception. Because some of us think that we're hindered. Some of us think that we have this whole, we're boxed in and we're bottled in. But I want to be able to get you to think outside of the box. I want you to get to be able to move outside and realize what this thing called life is. I look at life as a game. Those of you that attended my last webinar, we just did another webinar. You can look at the replay. It's actually on YouTube under Issachar Bay, or you can actually check it out on my Facebook here. We did a webinar called The Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life. Why? Because I've always looked at life as a game. Everybody that's watching this, everybody that's born, we've all been dealt a hand in the game of life. It doesn't matter how good or bad your hand is, but what matters is how you play that hand to win in the game of life. And so we did that webinar. We have a class that's coming up on June 29th, where I'm going to be teaching for 6 weeks, the art of manifestation. I tell you, it's going to be off the chain. It's going to be dynamic. Listen, if you feel like your life is falling apart, you definitely want to be into that, but that's a whole nother thing on a whole nother way. Listen, June 15th, I want to talk to the women about attracting the right kind of man in your life. Brothers, I already had a couple brothers signing up for the webinar. Why? Because listen, I'm going to deal with a different perspective. I'm telling you, if you're a brother out there, if you're married and you have a husband, sign up for the webinar. I guarantee you are going to get something out of this webinar that may enhance your marriage. You're going to get something out of this webinar that may bring your relationship together even closer. It may give you a better understanding of each other and allow you to go to the next level, allow you to evolve and to elevate to a different level in your relationships. So on all different kind of levels, one, I definitely want to know this. If you are a single mother and you're raising a son, I definitely want you to watch this webinar, be a part of this webinar, because what I'm going to be dealing with is I'm going to be giving you some key concepts and some key things that I think will definitely give you a greater understanding and help you to alleviate some of the problems and pressures and situations that you may have raising a son by yourself. And so if you are a single mother raising a son, I definitely want you to be a part of this webinar. Listen, I'm so excited. I'm definitely can't wait to get into this webinar, to get into some things. I want to know what problems and issues that you guys are having. Definitely register for the webinar. And then after you register, I will show you how to get in contact with me, to give me the questions, to give me all of your concerns or things that you want me to discuss concerning attracting the right kind of man in your life. Listen, June 15th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, free webinar. I want to see you there. I'm going right now to see how many of you are registering right now. Listen, your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it's a matter of choice.